Greetings, vloggers, bloggers, followers, and potters. Dustin here from Dustin's Dynasty with another edition of this week's vlog. Today is a Saturday, and it is kind of late, not late in the evening, but it's getting about sunset. Been busy the last few days. Been quite the week, not quite the week. Better this week than last week. Wasn't as busy, but in the course of this week, things sometimes in life don't go according to the way we always want them to go. There are times when we as autistic people, as such as myself, need to be more flexible with things that we may not agree to or want to do or want to have to manage. But as part of what we have to do as autistic people, or myself specifically, how to navigate life that I have to in order to do the things that I need to do, um, there is sometimes a necessity that you have to do them. And whether you like it or not, they have to be done. For one reason or another, things have to happen the way they do, or, there's things that you may not agree with that are a part of your day that you may not agree with, or that there may be something that may frustrate you, agitate you, or make you upset. And it can be really easy to take your emotions out on others when things don't go the way you want them to go. And for the longest time, I felt that way, more specifically towards my loved ones and those who I thought I could be this spoiled little brat at. And, eventually, my mother, speaking of Mother's Day is tomorrow, she had to put her foot down, figuratively, and say, you gotta make things, you gotta be more of an adult and, you know, do the things you could have to do to manage things, or I'm going to stop helping you, or I'm going to stop, helping you. And sometimes that is what opens your eyes. Or in another instance, where a few months ago I had a meltdown at the supercenter in the parking lot with my mother again, and seeing another customer give dirty looks or say something dirty kind of opens your eyes and makes you realize that when you act in that manner, when you have that meltdown, when things don't go when you have when that filter, uh, where you can't keep your comments or your thoughts to yourself and you let them go, and you don't realize how other people are angered, filtered, or angered, or frustrated, or just upset in general, or they comment things at you that you may not want to hear. It can be difficult to hear those things, and it can open your eyes and see that. Now, as an adult who has quite the extensive knowledge of therapy, I'm almost 40 now, but 1 year shy of 40 next month. You really will start to see in yourself that you can do things you know that come pretty easy in most ways. You can manage your emotions if you really have to. You don't there are consequences to expectations or rules that must be followed. And while many times autistic people are rule followers, it can be hard at times when our emotions or our frustrations get in the way of those rules, and realizing that while those rules, we like to follow those rules, sometimes we feel that we should be exempt because of our diagnosis, or that we're just having a bad day or whatever. But it's also knowing that having to follow those rules and being the person that I know I can be as an an adult, whether being autistic or having other challenges, can allow me to know that people look to me to be an inspiration, or a person who has made it as far as he has in his journey, and reacting in a negative manner, or becoming, lashing out at someone for things that may even be out of their control or even out of my control, will not help the situation at all. It'll only make it worse. And it's just easier at times to be able to cope in the way that I can, my personal self, to be able to undergo the situation that I must undergo. Now, if there's many times, if there is an easier way to get out of a situation, because of your challenges or what have you, then you do that. But there are instances where that is just not available to you, and you have to do what is required of you to get through a situation, or do what is needed for you to get things done. And when you get through those situations, it goes so much, as hard as it can be for myself or anyone as an autistic adult, to be able to, you know, work on yourself and keep your thoughts to yourself and not let yourself boil over, in a negative, reacting negatively or lashing out at someone because of something that I can't control or somebody else can't control, or whatever that may be. That's not my, you know, that's really not, you know, I can't, I have to be the responsible one, and being that negative person, reacting in that way isn't going to help the situation. It's only going to make it worse. It's only going to make you look, the person who is reacting, looked very ashamed and looked very embarrassed, when when I at least know that I have the skills and the capability to do the things that I need to do to be able to get through the situation that, I need to get through at that moment. As hard as it can be, and as much as I don't want to do it, sometimes you have to be the stronger person, and you have to get through it. It's not always easy, and there's plenty of things I would want to do as opposed to other people, but it's sometimes you just have to be the responsible one, and do what is needed, and be the adult in the situation. And it can be hard when things are hard for us to do like that, because we want things the way we want them, and we want to feel comfortable. We don't want to feel that frustration or that anger or that agitation that we're experiencing as autistic people. But in essence, we also need to know we are, we need to act our age and not our shoe size, so to speak. So, that's also important. It's important to be the person that we know we can be, that we've had the skills and the experience, and what has worked for us well. And yeah, there's going to be times that things aren't going to go okay, and that may be okay, but you also have to know the consequences with that as well. And it can be hard to see the consequences that come with things, and sometimes things just can't be helped. Sometimes things get a little, too much for someone. They get too overloaded, and they're not able to help themselves, be able to calm themselves in the way that they need to. But for a person such as myself, who has been there and done that many times again and again, and is able, when I can, it's important for me to stop and think and not just react. I need to respond better in my own locus of control, and not what I can't control. It can be hard, but I know deep down that I don't want to make myself look foolish or childish, where I'm even more embarrassed than what I would be if I wasn't able to do things in the way that I needed to. It can be hard to accept that. It can be hard, some things, we things don't always go our way. And I think that's another thing that's hard for autistic people to accept in life that things don't always go our way. And, there's things we're going to have to do that we may not like. That's just how it is, it's hard. That's why it can be hard to retain a job or whatever, because it can be hard to follow orders or, do some things that are uncomfortable to us. And granted, not everybody in the working world is, kind to people who do have challenges, but you know, you have if people know your challenges and do the right thing, then there's nothing to worry about. And it's hard when you know things get overloaded and you're at your breaking point, but you have to work at yourself to not get to that breaking point. You have to use the tools in the toolbox that you have so that you're not getting to that point. So you're able to regulate yourself and bring yourself down before it gets to that upper level to where things are more challenging for you. And it's hard to realize that. And sometimes there are sensory issues when you're having to deal with things, but if you have the tools that you have, the physical tools that you have to be able to cope with the things that you need to cope with, then you shouldn't have a problem. You shouldn't have a difficulty being able to do that. And yes, other human beings can be agitating or whatever, but you have to be the stronger person. You have to be the better person and do what you can do to get through a situation, no matter how challenging it can be. It is important to remember, how you can carry yourself in the manner that you can, with everybody, regardless of who it is, that you can be the person that you can be and not react in that negative manner or be that negative person when you can. So I think that's all I'm going to say today because it's been a really long weekend and I want to get this done. So be sure to like and subscribe. Be sure to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, X, and Pinterest. That handles Dustin's Dynasty. I'm on the web. That website is dustinsdynastyusa.com. And I'm on Linktree. That handle is Dustin's Dynasty. I want you to take care of yourself. Have a good weekend. Stay safe out there. We'll talk at you soon. And to the mothers out there who have done everything for their autistic loved ones, and including those that are autistic, have a happy Mother's Day. We love you all. Take care, and we'll see you soon. Bye for now.